627 Event Space. This is Hornet Talk, your weekly look inside Emporia State Athletics. Hornet Talk is brought to you by 627 Event Space, Black Creek Diesel and Automotive, Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Newman Regional Health, Shelter Insurance Agents Kelly Medrano and Dave Watts, and by Sports Connection. Here's the voice of the Emporia State Hornets, Blake Cripps.
The Emporia State basketball teams went out on the road for the first of a four-game road trip. The second half was snowy, and they moved the games up to Friday. Each team went 1-1, with the Lady Hornets picking up a win on Friday against Arkansas Fort Smith, and the men getting a 13-point win at Northeastern State on Thursday. Now they'll wrap up the longest road swing of the year by going back to the Sooner State, taking on Rogers State on Thursday and the Broncos of Central Oklahoma on Saturday for an MIAA double dip. It's Emporia State basketball on the road at the Claremore Expo Center next time we'll talk to you on Thursday with the RV Doc pregame show at 5 o'clock and the tip-off at 5:30 for the women, men to follow on Mix 104.9. And with that, we welcome you into the brand new Hornet Talk here at 627 Event Space. It's time for today's specials brought to you by 627 Event Space, your Hornet game day headquarters. 627 Commercial in downtown Emporia on special every Monday. A $5 chicken mac and cheese bowl with a side of fries, ribbon fries, or home fries. You can get it right here at 627 Event Space. Welcome those of you listening online at kvoe.com/listen or on the Odyssey app. And, of course, we are streaming on the ESU Athletics YouTube channel. We'll start with the women today. All of our women's highlights will come from the Lady Hornets victory after falling at Northeastern State 74-57 earlier in an effort that Coach MJ said wasn't really there the way that they wanted it. They came back against Arkansas Fort Smith. Game didn't start well. It was a 9-0 run for the Lady Lions to begin the game, but then Emporia State went on a 13-0 run to get the lead right back, and the Emporia State comeback continued in the second half. It was a 1-point lead at halftime for the Lady Hornets, but they were able to survive a run that spanned halftime by the Lady Lions, and they started their comeback in the second half on a defensive play made by Kataya Casey as she eventually assisted Macy Gandy on the play. Down to 5. Passes at the last moment. Picked off. It's stolen. Pilfered there by Casey. Here she comes down the right side. Bounce pass to Gandy. Up fake. Hook shot. Yes! Casey on the assist. And the hook shot. Drained by Gandy. 58-55. Emporia State down 3 at that point, able to eventually get back into the lead as Micah Hanna got a rebound and a whole pride of Lions and kicked out to a red-hot Gracie Gilpin. Loose ball, tapped ahead, Hanna to Casey, layup, missed, rebounded by Hanna in the middle of 4 Lions, up for a Gilpin 3, bang! Gracie Gilpin, massive 3, 26, and it matches her career high of 6 trifectas. And Gracie Gilpin, as you know, at this point, she was not done. Later on, she crossed into the 30s for the first time in her career. Here is the hot Gracie Gilpin through the semicircle. 3 seconds to shoot. Flips it up with the right hand, and she scores! How about a 30-pack? Gracie Gilpin with 31 points. It was a career-high 31, eventually 7 3-pointers. That was a new career high for Gracie as well, as the Lady Hornets held off those pesky Lady Lions of Arkansas Fort Smith 77-71 to move to 10-9 on the year, 4-6 in the MIAA. Meanwhile, for the Emporia State men, our highlights for them will come from their first road win of the year as they picked off a win at the NSU Event Center over Northeastern State. Northeastern State was down early but able to get the lead back near the middle of the second period, but it was Emporia State on the comeback, and that started on a Trey Red 3-point play. They'll go to Red. Red pulls by his man, and an and one! Trey Red screams at the bench, and the Hornets up by 3 with 8:12 to go, 64-61. It was a pretty nip-and-tuck game, and they needed another 3-point play to keep the Riverhawks at bay. This one from Mason Wiek. Goes to the left hand, to the baseline. Up fake, layup, missed. Wiek, rebound, but he missed the layup. Got his rebound back, and it's an and one! Wiek finishing through the contact and a chance at a 3-point play. And the game wasn't over after this play, but down to the buzzer. Northeastern State had played a really good defensive possession. They had guarded for 30 seconds of the shot clock, but then Chris Harris beat the buzzer to give the Emporia State Hornets a 3-point lead late. Harris on the beak of the Riverhawk to Conley, 10 to shoot. Bear up top, reverse pivot, 5 seconds to shoot. Here is Harris. Harris, right side, 1 second, forces the three. Swish! Harris buries it as the horn sounded. 7-point game. Oh, what a massive Haircrafters three for Harris. And quick edit there, of course, that was a 3-possession lead that Emporia State got at that point and eventually made some free throws, continued getting stops. Harris had a bunch of highlights down this stretch we could have picked from. He had a block late at the very end of the game that finally wrapped it up and sent the Riverhawk fans streaming toward the exits as Emporia State got the win over NSU 84-71. Rogers State is lurking for the Hornets coming up on Thursday. ESU tried to make it a 2-0 weekend, but could not keep pace with Arkansas. Fort Smith scored the first three, but the Lions answered with a big run. And number 16, Arkansas Fort Smith, got another win to get themselves back on track with a 2-0 week following their 3-game losing streak with an 83-59 win over the Emporia State Hornets. So Emporia State's men 7-12, 3-7 in the MIAA. Rogers State 12-7 and 6-4 inside the association. And the Emporia State Lady Hornets are 10-9, 4-6 in the MIAA, and they'll play a Rogers State Hillcat team that is also 4-6 in the MIAA and 7-12 on their season for their overall record. So we're down to the Claremore Expo Center, and Coach MJ will be making her first trip down to the Expo Center. We'll talk to her about it next in the 1-1 Lady Hornet Week when we come back. Live from 627 Event Space, this is Hornet Talk. You're listening to Emporia State Basketball.
Headed to the game or celebrating after? Swing by 627 Event Space Bar and Grill. Whether you're grabbing a burger before kickoff or winding down with a beer after the buzzer, 627 has you covered. Emporia's go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and unbeatable vibes. 627 Event Space Bar and Grill, the new home for Hornet Talk at 627 Commercial. Proud supporters of the Emporia State University Hornets. Stingers up!
Winter weather in Kansas. Is your car ready? The team at Black Creek Diesel and Automotive is proud to be a part of the Napa Network. With over 14,000 Napa Auto Care centers, you'll always have an ASE certified mechanic nearby. The next time you need service, head to Black Creek Diesel and Automotive for the expertise and quality service you need to keep your ride on the road wherever you're headed. Black Creek Diesel and Automotive, 3105 West 6th Avenue in Emporia.
Wanting to consolidate debt? Look no further than Emporia State Federal Credit Union. They have a variety of loan products to help you reduce your payments and pay off debt faster. Text or call them today to speak to a qualified local professional. 620-342-2336. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions may apply. All loans are subject to approval.
Emporia State Federal Credit Union. The educated choice.
When you need fast care, Newman Regional Health Medical Partners Express Care is here for you. Conveniently located on-site at Newman Regional Health, Express Care offers walk-in service for non-emergency illnesses and injuries. No appointment needed. Open 7 days a week to keep you feeling your best. Call today at 620-343-7828. Trust Express Care for quick, reliable treatment. Newman Regional Health Medical Partners Express Care, helping the Hornets achieve their healthy goals.
It's time to fall forward into football season and cheer on your favorite team. So why not get new gear for you and your family at Sports Connection? Sports Connection carries Emporia High and area high school team apparel, as well as ESU, KU, and K-State gear. They also do custom screen printing for your team, booster club, or your family and fans. Catch the spirit with new fan gear from Sports Connection. Sports Connection, 2721 West 15th Emporia.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
For auto, home, life, or business insurance, see Shelter Agent Dave Watts. Mix 104.9.
Back here at 627 Event Space, getting set for the road trip down to the Claremore Expo Center. Last time out, it was Emporia State able to pull away a pretty easy victory last year here at White Auditorium, 73-49. Blowout win for the Lady Hornets as they had a 15-0 run in the first quarter, took the lead for good after that. Emporia State had a 23-7 lead at the end of the first quarter, and Rogers State, they got a little closer, but they were never closer than a dozen the rest of the way as they were really smothered by the Lady Hornet defense, shooting just 32% from the field and 4 of 21 from the three-point line, while the Lady Hornets were 19 of 22 at the foul strip. Joining me now is about to make her first ever trip down to Claremore, Oklahoma to play the Hillcats. Head coach MJ Baker of the Lady Hornets joining us here. And, well, Coach, you said when you wanted to come up here to Kansas, you're looking forward to your first snow. Now, we've had some, snow on the ground, but that's really not a real snow. This is a real Kansas snow. How was the first ever experience with a Kansas snow?
I mean, it's been awesome. We love the snow out here. It makes you tough. So we're definitely getting tougher. I know our Florida kids and our team went sledding on Saturday. So some of our players got to experience sledding for the first time. So it was by accident. I was sledding with my kids at the same time they came.
Okay.
So they just couldn't get enough of me that we ended up on the sledding hill together.
Sure.
So it was a lot of fun watching them sled for the first time and just, just enjoy it.
Was anybody a natural out there more than the others?
Micah and Vanessa were a little bit of a hot mess. Micah had some pretty bad wipeouts.
Sure.
Kataya was sledding backwards, and I don't think she ever really wiped out. Lex had some pretty crucial wipeouts for a Kansas kid. I was kind of surprised that she wasn't sledding very well. And I think Special K and Gandy and Moo were having trouble just getting up the hill.
Sure.
It was very interesting to watch.
What was the apparatus?
They came with all kinds of stuff. Luckily, we had extra sleds that we shared because they came with these blue sheets of paper almost it looked like. They were trying to sled down, and then they had some tubes, and they had some little sleds for little kids. And then we even saw some people with bullet mattresses, and I don't know. They were very creative. I tell you that. Very creative.
I think the tube is definitely. I've seen people on those sheets, and
You've seen those?
That's
crazy.
Those don't look very. Don't look very secure. I was always an inner tube kid when I was growing up, and apparently you said that the Baker boys.
Yeah. So today was my kids' first snow day, which is really awesome because we're from Florida, so they got to experience. They've had hurricane days.
Yes.
But they've never had snow days. And we just left the hospital because my 6th grader got 5 staples to the head because he hit his head on a street sign. It was on Dad's duty. Dad's watch.
All Dad's fault.
Always Dad's watch.
Sure.
But we just left the hospital. My 6th grader left 5 staples today. We just left there. So 5 staples. What an epic snow day it was for us.
And Coach MJ, I can already tell, because you've mentioned your daughter who's been here, your kids have been here. You're not afraid to embarrass the kids.
Oh, no.
You showed me the picture.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty gnarly gash there.
Yeah, he is.
I'm assuming, did he handle it? He's okay now, though?
I mean, yeah. He made it. Yep.
he survived?
He's got 5 staples. So.
Well, there we go. So now you're prepared. You'll be ready for the next time.
Yes.
I guess we probably should talk some about basketball here on this one-on-one road trip. Overall, kind of a different weekend going down with the times changing. Certainly the NSU game was, not what you wanted to see there. Overall, how do you kind of evaluate the trip? Not getting the start you wanted on Saturday or on Friday, but the team was able to pick themselves up and get a win on the road. And like we said after, sometimes in the MIAA, you just have to figure out a way to win those games.
Yeah, I mean, Northeastern was really tough. They played us really well, and they have one of the top defenses in the MIAA, and you could definitely see that. And we had trouble scoring. We missed, it's the same telltale. We had trouble scoring. And then the next day against Fort Smith, I feel like our team found a way to battle back, and we found a little offensive mojo. Even with our offensive mojo, that game was way too close. We were actually scoring, but then I'm like, we need to get stops. We need to play some defense now. The scoring's great, but can we stop them on the other end? And luckily at the end, we had some big plays that happened that went our way.
Well, and many of the big plays were from Sub-Zero. Her temperatures
Oh,
arrived.
yeah.
And, Gracie Gilpin, 31 career high, 7 3-pointers. And, yeah, when she's cooking like that, sometimes you just need to get out of her way.
And Micah actually was here tonight, did a great job finding her off of offensive rebounds and just penetrating, kicking, getting 2 feet to the paint. So Gracie was on fire. 7 for 10 from the three, did a great job putting the ball in the hole. And then Kataya scored our first 11 points. But we all know, we always emphasize it's not just about scoring. The defense and the rebounding and the passes and just being able to do the hard work helps a lot too. So they couldn't have done it without them.
And Micah Hanna will be our next guest here, the sophomore from, I believe it's Ocoee, Florida.
Yes.
Right? Okay, that did my research correctly. So we'll talk to her about the snow day and also the win as well because, she was on the highlights. And you do like to, hey, offense is what gets the headlines and the highlights, but you also like to kind of mention, hey, they had a good defensive game, and she's been a really strong defensive player for you this year.
Micah's been a spark for us. She comes on the floor and gives a big bolt. So both ends.
For you guys, how crucial was getting – when you're down 9-0, you don't have to get it all back at once, but it did feel big at the time to just get 13 points just straight off the rip there to go back into the lead in the first quarter.
Oh, that was huge. Yeah, we're trying to figure out how to start a game better. So we're going to continue to figure that out, and we're going to continue to, throw out hypotheses and test them and see how we can start a first quarter well. So, but luckily, yes, Kataya's little spark, and then Micah gave us a little spark off the bench too to get that going. And then Gracie, yeah.
Yeah, what else can you say about Gracie Gilpin and the way that she was playing? Overall, when you look at how this team has performed, how do you feel like going into this Rogers State game? What are some of the things at this point in the season? Now we're halfway through the MIAA schedule, which seems crazy that we're halfway done. We're basically up to, just over a month left in the year. You've got 9 MIAA games left. Overall, in terms of taking stock of where your team is, what are the things that you feel like the team needs to work on here over this last month to make sure you make that final push into the MIAA tournament?
Well, I just think that if we could just work on finishing at a higher level, we miss a lot of layups that we worked really hard for. They do all the hard work, and then we just got to finish the easy stuff. And I think that'll make a big difference for us. Obviously, defensively, I feel like just knowing personnel and scout, but I feel like they're really buying that and committed to that right now. So just seeing them invested in watching film, and they're doing it on their own. I'm not even asking them now. They're coming to me like, hey, coach, I watched this game, and they know about the team before I even go over scout. Shows that they're understanding how much preparation breeds our success and how that works out for us. So I feel like they're getting better and better. We just need to continue to believe in ourselves, get the reps, and know that we're good enough and stop letting doubt creep in.
You guys are facing a team that I feel like is pretty different from you just in terms of how they score. You've kind of got the 2 superheroes in Gilpin and Caitlin Sanders. They're very balanced, but they don't have one of those players. Not that they don't have players that can go for double digits. They've had a couple of nice individual scoring moments, including Atea Casals, who is their leading scorer, but she's only averaging 9 a game. But they've got about 5 players that all average either 9 or 8 points per game. So looking at them in the Hillcats in this next matchup, how do you feel like you guys will match up with them when you're on defense?
They're very much like Central Mo to me. They have a good 5 to 7 players who all contribute, and you never know who's really going to go off that game. And sometimes no one goes off. They all just do their 7 to 8 points, and it adds up to a lot of points because there's 7 of them doing it. So I feel like with us, it's just going to be big, just defense and just saying, keep them off the free throw line, and just being able to play them honest and just knowing how on the other end we can expose them. Because honestly, defensively, I don't think they're a great defensive team. So it's just allowing us to be confident in exposing that. And then I think on the offensive end, our defense has really just got to kick in, and it's going to come down to personnel and scout.
This is a Rogers State team that's coming off of their best offensive game of the year, scoring 83 points as they beat the Lopers 83-75, had their best field goal percentage shooting game of the year, 54%. And, their defensive numbers overall on the year have not been great, but they did hold the Lopers to just 39% in that last game. And
I watched that game. It gave me Washburn throwbacks.
A lot of the numbers were really weird because UNK out-rebounded them by 7. UNK outscored the Hillcats 21-2 in second chance points, but yet Rogers State, because they shot 15% better, won the game. What did Rogers State do defensively that held UNK down there in the high 30s in their field goal percentage?
I think honestly, the game I was watching, Nebraska Kearney was running and jumping them, and they were leaving a lot of people open. They were taking very high-risk chances on traps, and so people are getting open shots. And as we know, hit Washburn, if you give them a little confidence early, the basket becomes huge.
Sure.
And before you know it, they're having the best three-point shooting game of their life, and it was on the road. So I'm just so impressed. So they are coming off of a big win on the road, and they shot the best they've shot all season. So we know they're going to be feeling themselves coming back. So we just have to make sure we shut that down early and don't give them confidence early.
Last thing, just one quick word on the Chos, Central Oklahoma coming up. What are some things that you've noticed about the Broncos? Know the full scouts going in on RSU right now, but anything stand out to you about the Broncos?
Yeah, I mean, they're tough. They're a gritty team, and they've been in a lot of close games. So we know they're wanting a win really bad, and we're hoping not to give it to them. So that's the goal. Make it tough as can be on them. And obviously on the road, we just got our first MIAA win on the road. So we just got to keep building off that we can do it.
This is the last trip to the Sooner State for the Lady Hornets this year as they go down to play Rogers State Thursday and then Central Oklahoma at Hamilton Fieldhouse on Saturday. So we'll talk to you from the Claremore Expo Center on Thursday. Pregame coverage begins with the RB Doc pregame show at 5 and the tip-off for the ladies at 5:30. We'll have both games for you, of course, on Mix 104.9. Coach, appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Blake. Thanks, you guys.
Coach
Thanks for coming out.
MJ Baker here, the head coach of the Lady Hornets. We'll take a timeout. We'll come back with Micah Hanna as we get you set for the Lady Hornets and the Hillcats right here on Mix 104.9 on Thursday. Live from 627 Event Space, this is Hornet Talk. You're listening to Emporia State Basketball.
Wanting to consolidate debt? Look no further than Emporia State Federal Credit Union. They have a variety of loan products to help you reduce your payments and pay off debt faster. Text or call them today to speak to a qualified local professional. 620-342-2336. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions may apply. All loans are subject to approval.
Emporia State Federal Credit Union, the educated choice.
Newman Regional Health Medical Partners is proud to provide the same orthopedic and sports medicine care trusted by the athletes on the Hornet fields. Their expert medical team serves the greater Emporia area with comprehensive treatment for sprains, fractures, joint pain, and sports-related injuries. Trusted by athletes and available to everyone. Schedule your appointment today with Newman Regional Health Medical Partners at 620-343-2376. Newman Regional Health, achieving healthy goals.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
For a free personal protection review, contact Shelter Insurance Agent Dave Watts.
It's time to fall forward into football season and cheer on your favorite team. So why not get new gear for you and your family at Sports Connection? Sports Connection carries Emporia High and area high school team apparel, as well as ESU, KU, and K-State gear. They also do custom screen printing for your team, booster club, or your family and fans. Catch the spirit with new fan gear from Sports Connection. Sports Connection, 2721 West 15th Emporia.
Headed to the game or celebrating after? Swing by 627 Event Space Bar and Grill. Whether you're grabbing a burger before kickoff or winding down with a beer after the buzzer, 627 has you covered. Emporia's go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and unbeatable vibes. 627 Event Space Bar and Grill, the new home for Hornet Talk at 627 Commercial. Proud supporters of the Emporia State University Hornets. Stingers up!
Winter weather in Kansas. Is your car ready? The team at Black Creek Diesel and Automotive is proud to be a part of the Napa Network. With over 14,000 Napa Auto Care centers, you'll always have an ASE certified mechanic nearby. The next time you need service, head to Black Creek Diesel and Automotive for the expertise and quality service you need to keep your ride on the road wherever you're headed. Black Creek Diesel and Automotive, 3105 West 6th Avenue in Emporia. Mix 104.9.
Lady Hornets enter this week in the MIAA season currently in a tie for 7th, one of 3 teams at 4-6. Emporia State's already got a win over one of those tied teams. That's Nebraska Kearney. Now they'll play Rogers State, only meeting between these two teams. So depending on how things line up in terms of seeding, might be a really big game. They'll get Nebraska Kearney later on in the year. Fort Hays State is currently 9-1, and they are 2 games clear of Pittsburgh State and Missouri Southern in the win column, both at 7-1 heading into this weekend's game. So pretty big game here for Emporia State, looking to make sure that they can make that top 10 and get into MIAA madness. Joining us now, one of the ladies who's going to try to get them there, Micah Hanna, 5'9" sophomore guard from Ocoee, Florida, a transfer in from Santa Fe College. Micah Hanna joining us here on Hornet Talk. And Micah, you said you participated in the snowy weekend. You guys were out there on Saturday for the most part, right?
Yes, sir.
So Saturday, it was pretty chilly on Saturday. You're a Florida girl. Now, you said you've been, not like Special K, like never ever like seen snow with her eyes before. So you've been in, cold weather conditions, but that's cool. How did you handle that?
I handled it pretty well. I mean, I definitely had a lot of layers on. A lot
Sure.
of layers. I had on a mask. I had on my gloves. I had on a big coat, 2 jackets, 2 leggings, 2 pairs of socks.
Hey, listen, my dad goes out. I mean, he'll go out and like hunt deer in frigid conditions, and he's the layer guy. So you're following the master in terms of staying warm. Now, from Coach MJ's perspective, she wasn't super impressed, it sounds like, with the sledding skills of you and some of the other Floridians. Overall, how would you grade yourselves out?
Well, not good at all.
Was that was the first time ever sledding?
Yes, that was my first time.
Now, were you on one of like the blue like sheets of plastic, or did you get like an in or two?
My first one I was, and I went down fast. I went down so fast.
Where did you guys sled in town?
Was it by the highway? Yeah. It was
Okay.
by the highway.
Oh, yeah. You can get some steep banks by there. So, you've had your first snow. So, welcome to Kansas here for sure.
Yeah.
Let's get into some basketball. Obviously, for you guys as a team, that wasn't the effort that you wanted against Northeastern State. How did you guys kind of come together as a team afterward and try to move on from that? And I'm wondering how that game getting moved from Saturday to Friday, so you really didn't have time to think about it. You had to get ready for another game there pretty quick. How that may have helped you guys kind of put that on the back burner and move on.
Well, we watched film the same day actually that we played Fort Smith, and we realized the things that we didn't do or that we could have done, we brought it into Fort Smith game. So that was either communicating on defense, moving out the ball, rebounding extra hard, and communicating again, and just being us and playing like how we know how to play.
Well, and you said before, when you were on the post game with us, like you like to say you've got that dog in you, trying to make those defensive stops and get those rebounds. And when you got that one, did you remember that board you got? It felt like the whole team was around you guys, and then obviously everybody is around you. Somebody has to be open.
Mm-hmm.
You found Gracie, and boy, leaving her open, that was a mistake by the Lady Lions.
Yeah, it was crazy play. All I remember is tapping the ball to Kataya, and the Kataya going in real fast, and I'm just trailing after Kataya. Kataya missed the layup. I'm like, okay, cool. Rebound fall right in my hands. I hear Micah. I look. I see Gracie. I said, oh, great pass, Micah.
Sure.
Great pass.
And all the passes to Gracie were great passes on Friday.
Yes.
What's it like for you as a teammate watching her when she is kind of, I don't know what mode she's in, but when she's like that, you just got to get her the ball as often as you can.
Mm-hmm, every time.
What's that like to see her when she's like that?
When she's like that, I just know it's just crazy because once she got that hot hand, it's like, okay, just keep feeding Gracie the ball because, once Gracie make 2 or 3, she going to make 6 more after that.
Yes.
Definitely.
It definitely feels like that. So you guys were off of class today. People usually like me to ask, what are you studying right now? Just a sophomore, so what are you studying right now?
Right now, well, I guess you could say a little bit research.
Sure. Well, and if you're undecided, that's okay.
It really is undecided.
Yeah,
a little bit.
not a problem. There's still plenty of time to make a decision. Do you have anything like any options in mind as of yet?
Not
And that's
really.
okay. That's okay too. So right now, just getting the electives out of the way. In other words, no problem with that whatsoever. Your buddy Vanessa Coleman here again. She was here last week. What's it been like to kind of get? I asked her about you, so I feel like it's only fair. I got to ask you about her this week. What's it been like to kind of get to know her? And you guys are running around quite a bit.
I love you. Well, she's actually my roommate, but we hang out even outside of the room. We hang out 24/7. Like we go everywhere together. Like that's really my buddy. That's my girl. I love you.
You love to see that. Absolutely love to see that. Early on for you here this week, what's been some of the things that you guys have kind of worked on as you guys get ready? No class today, obviously, so this kind of made it a basketball day for you guys. I know that you mentioned before, I'm not 100% ready to be back in class all the time yet, but how did you guys kind of use that as a basketball day today?
Well, we worked on what I said earlier, moving out the ball and just working on our cuts and then communicating on defense, working on communication very much.
For you guys, I know that, when you go out to start a game, nobody goes out and says, man, I sure hope we start bad and, do everything. Don't do the things that Coach MJ said. But overall, how do you guys feel like is going to be some of the things that help you get to a better start to begin the game?
I feel like us coming out there with energy is our number one thing that for sure, bench and on the floor, and also pregame, definitely before the game. Also just lifting each other up and just coming together and talking to each other, because that always helps us. I know in the locker room our locker room was crazy for Smith. Like we did like our own drawing and stuff. We was just having fun. We was laughing. I feel like that type of energy really does help us go into the game. Yeah.
For you guys, last thing, heading into Rogers State here, overall, what's your early impression? I know you guys are going to do a lot more study on the Hillcats and focus on you, but overall, what are your thoughts about Rogers State?
Like you said, they don't really have like a big post player for us or for them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so I feel like for them, like they're like a really tough team. So we're just gonna have to go out there and play, because I feel like they're kind of like us and similar, especially with the guards. But yeah, we just need to go out there and play.
Micah Hanna joining us, a 5'9" sophomore, Ocoee, Florida, averaging 5 points, 4 rebounds per game. Had a couple of big ones there that set up Gracie Gilpin in the win at the Stubblefield Center. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Micah Hanna joining us here on Hornet Talk. Coming up from the men's team, we're going to be talking with Coach Billeter here in a moment. But up next is assistant coach Devin Whitelow talking about the Hornets. They got their first road win of the season at NSU earlier in the week on Thursday. So we'll talk with him about last week for the Hornets down in Oklahoma and Arkansas when we come back. Live from 627 Event Space, this is Hornet Talk. You're listening to Emporia State Basketball.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Kelly Medrano for a free personal protection review.
It's time to fall forward into football season and cheer on your favorite team. So why not get new gear for you and your family at Sports Connection? Sports Connection carries Emporia High and area high school team apparel, as well as ESU, KU, and K-State gear. They also do custom screen printing for your team, booster club, or your family and fans. Catch the spirit with new fan gear from Sports Connection. Sports Connection, 2721 West 15th Emporia.
Headed to the game or celebrating after? Swing by 627 Event Space Bar and Grill. Whether you're grabbing a burger before kickoff or winding down with a beer after the buzzer, 627 has you covered. Emporia's go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and unbeatable vibes. 627 Event Space Bar and Grill, the new home for Hornet Talk at 627 Commercial. Proud supporters of the Emporia State University Hornets. Stingers up!
winter weather in Kansas. Is your car ready? The team at Black Creek Diesel and Automotive is proud to be a part of the Napa Network. With over 14,000 Napa Auto Care centers, you'll always have an ASE certified mechanic nearby. The next time you need service, head to Black Creek Diesel and Automotive for the expertise and quality service you need to keep your ride on the road wherever you're headed. Black Creek Diesel and Automotive, 3105 West 6th Avenue in Emporia.
Wanting to consolidate debt? Look no further than Emporia State Federal Credit Union. They have a variety of loan products to help you reduce your payments and pay off debt faster. Text or call them today to speak to a qualified local professional. 620-342-2336. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions may apply. All loans are subject to approval.
Emporia State Federal Credit Union, the educated choice.
When you need fast care, Newman Regional Health Medical Partners Express Care is here for you. Conveniently located on site at Newman Regional Health, Express Care offers walk-in service for non-emergency illnesses and injuries. No appointment needed. Open 7 days a week to keep you feeling your best. Call today at 620-343-7828. Trust Express Care for quick, reliable treatment. Newman Regional Health Medical Partners Express Care, helping the Hornets achieve their healthy goals.
Mix 104.9.
Emporia State getting set to travel back down to Oklahoma. Now, the Emporia State men, they actually have had 4 straight games that have been away from White Auditorium. They weren't true road games. You'll recall they had that win up at Avila against Lincoln. They were in the middle of November. Then 3 straight games on the road where they went back down to Oklahoma and then had the opener at Northwest Missouri. But this is the first and only stretch of 4 straight true road games for the Hornet guys as they'll take on Rogers State on Thursday, Central Oklahoma on Saturday. So the Cats on Thursday, 7:30 tip-off for the men, and the Chos on Saturday at 3:30 tip-off. Will be on the air half an hour before the women's game, both days, Thursday and Saturday on Mix 104.9. Joining us now is the second-year assistant coach for Emporia State. He coaches the perimeter guys. Devin Whitelow joins us here on the show. Coach, always great to have you on board. Thank you so much for your time.
Appreciate you having me, Blake.
For you, Snow Guy, were you out there on Saturday doing any of the sledding?
My dogs were. I was in the house on my couch, so I'm not a big fan of the snow.
Smart guy. Where are you from originally?
Illinois.
So you don't have an excuse. I mean, they got plenty of snow up in Illinois, but just never took to it.
I'd rather be in a warm gym.
Sure. That's the good thing about the MIAA. All the gyms are very climate controlled, and as was NSU's, as you guys came in, had some hot and cold spurts in that game. But how did that feel for you guys to pick up your first road win down there and to do it in a conference environment?
You know, that was a big win. I mean, Northeastern, they were playing well going into that game, and I mean that's kind of all we talked about. And our guys, they did a good job kind of falling attention to the scout. There's things we still need to clean up from that game that we could have done better, but it was overall very well done to get that win.
Yeah, and you guys, we were talking about so many big plays down the stretch as I was trying to put together the highlights by Chris Harris. I didn't really realize how many deflections that he had, and he made some defensive plays. He had the block at the end, and just talk about Chris Harris. And obviously, we well documented last year, started with the posts, middle of the year. Coach Billeter said, hey, you're going with Coach Whitelow, you're a guard. And obviously the magic has definitely been there. You guys definitely made the right decision. He's been the real consistent scorer for you guys. He's got a long stretch of double-digit scoring games. What's allowed him to kind of be that consistency guy for you on offense this year?
Yeah, the biggest thing I can give to Chris is, I mean, he wants to be that. Like, he takes pride in that. I mean, he listens very well, and he wants to be a good player. So, I mean, that's hats off to Chris in that. And, I mean, he's just done a really good job down the stretch. And we remind them all, come media timeouts, 15 minutes, 10 minutes, hey, we need winning plays here. We need winning plays. And, I mean, over our last couple wins in those stretches, he's been the one coming up with a lot of those winning plays, whether that's a deflection, a big block, a big rebound. I mean, he's just finding ways to impact the game other than scoring, too. So that's really good.
Yeah, you actually stole one of my questions for Coach Billeter later in the interview. He does those winning plays, those 50-50 balls. And, I'm going to ask you, even though it wasn't this week, but it's one of your guys. And I know that, hey, Coach Slaughter, he loves when the guards make plays too. I know you like when the big guys, when Trayvon's down there doing good work. But man, what was your perspective on the bench when that Jack Wegas 3 went in against Central Missouri?
I mean, to be honest, as soon as it left his hand, I just knew it was good. I mean, that's a kid. You talk about putting countless hours into the gym. I mean, he's a hard worker. I mean, right after practice, he was texting me, can we get a workout in tomorrow? So, I mean, that's all testament to him and the work he puts in. I mean, we talk about all the time, hey, Jack, you might miss your first one, and the next 5 are going in.
Sure.
Like, he's one of those type of kids. So, I mean, it was good for him, but, I mean, as a staff, I feel like it was no doubt it was going in for us. So
for you guys, yeah, I mean, thinking about it with Jack Wegas and Gracie Gilpin, that would be a heck of a 3-point competition with those two guys. And I know that you guys have said many times, and so many players, and I've seen staffs where this is not necessarily the case, but for you and Coach Slaughter, anytime a guy wants to get a workout in or work on stuff, you guys are always available. Where does that come from? Because I know sometimes for assistant coaches, they're like, hey, you need to go work on your own, or you need to go work on with a manager or whatever. You guys are always available whenever anybody wants to get out and get in the gym. You guys are right there. Where does that come from?
Honestly, it's probably more of a control thing because I know what you're working on. You're not just going in there shooting a bunch of half-court shots or floaters that you're never going to shoot in a game, stuff like that.
Sure.
But, I mean, our guys, again, testament to them, they want that. They want to get in and get game-like reps in, so when they get to the game, they're comfortable. They're not rushed. So, I mean, that's really where it comes from, and I think me and Casey as players, that's what we wanted as players as well. So to have a staff with that, now you can see kids' confidence really grow.
Obviously, it wasn't all bad moving the game up. It was kind of nice to have a Saturday off, especially with the weather as it was. But overall, just from a basketball perspective, there are definitely some challenges playing from Thursday to Friday when you're not in a tournament-like setting. How did you like that Thursday-Friday turnaround?
I mean, coming from the NSIC, like with Coach B and Coach Casey, I mean, we're used to the back-to-backs.
Yes.
So, I mean, the turnaround wasn't that much different for us. It was just more trying to get our guys to understand the preparation and the rest you need going into that and staying hydrated and those things. So, I mean, that's just kind of the step that we're next at, to take that next step.
I know that the people we're talking with Devin Whitelow, assistant coach for Emporia State, one of the guys that maybe could have taken advantage. I'm not sure if he had a year left or not with the 5-year thing that didn't pan out, but I know Coach Billeter has said many times, man, wish we could get Trey Red for one more year the way he's been playing. He just lost a streak of big double-digit scoring against Arkansas Fort Smith. He has really rounded into shape. What's changed for him? Because I remember that Rockhurst game. He didn't have a good game. Coming back after the semester, boy, it seemed like he's almost flipped a switch and is a different player.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it is new for him. Being at Maryville for the last 3 years or whatever it's been, he's played the basketball a certain way for those 3 years. So trying to break some of those habits and get them in line with kind of what we're trying to do, it took a little bit longer than maybe we expected. But, I mean, he's kind of hitting his ground running right now. Like, he's playing really well. And, I mean, just, again, hats off to him because he wants to be good. He wants to do those things. He wants to be able to lead and help us be better than what we are. So
I know one thing that you guys changed up this year from talking with you before we started here was I know a lot of staffs will have in this setup where you've got one game on Wednesday or Thursday and another one on Saturday typically. You'll have one coach that will scout one of those games. The other coach will scout the other of those games. You guys haven't done it like that this year. You've almost been like offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator where you're the offensive guy looking at their defense. How do we score? How do we attack their defense? How have you liked that setup this year?
Oh, I enjoy it. I mean, Coach B kind of came to us with the idea this summer, and just it was a better way for all of us to kind of get on page for one game, where I'm not worrying about Rogers State and Casey's worrying about Central Oklahoma. We all know what's going on leading into that game. So it's just a good way to split it up. And, I mean, he's focused on one area, I'm focused on another, and we're kind of watching two different games going on at the once. So it's just good to have kind of 4 eyes seeing different things as well.
Well, I guess last question then. I know you've got a lot more of film digesting yet to do on the Hillcats for the Red and Navy, but what are your early impressions on how you think the Hillcats are going to try to guard you guys?
They're very athletic. I'm sure watching that Fort Smith game, they're trying to kind of get up and bother us. So, I mean, we just got to get back to the basics of what we've been doing. I mean, going into that game, we won 3 out of our last 4. So we're playing pretty good basketball. So it's getting everybody back, regrouped, getting healthy. And, I mean, we'll be fine. We just got to get back on the right track, and we'll be good.
Devin Whitelow, the assistant coach for Emporia State, leading the Hornets as they head into the Claremore Expo Center down south in the Sooner State. We'll have it for you with the doubleheader on Thursday, RV Doc pregame show at 5 on Mix 104.9. Coach Devin Whitelow, always appreciative of the time.
Thank you,
my
Blake.
friend. Devin Whitelow, ladies and gentlemen, for Emporia State men's basketball. We'll wrap things up with the head Hornet himself, Tom Billeter, when we come back live from 627 Event Space. This is Hornet Talk. You're listening to Emporia State Basketball.
Headed to the game or celebrating after? Swing by 627 Event Space Bar and Grill. Whether you're grabbing a burger before kickoff or winding down with a beer after the buzzer, 627 has you covered. Emporia's go-to spot for great food, cold drinks, and unbeatable vibes. 627 Event Space Bar and Grill, the new home for Hornet Talk at 627 Commercial. Proud supporters of the Emporia State University Hornets. Stingers up!
We all make plans for the future, but car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Find out how Kelly Medrano can help with your auto, home, and life needs.
It's time to fall forward into football season and cheer on your favorite team. So why not get new gear for you and your family at Sports Connection? Sports Connection carries Emporia High and area high school team apparel, as well as ESU, KU, and K-State gear. They also do custom screen printing for your team, booster club, or your family and fans. Catch the spirit with new fan gear from Sports Connection. Sports Connection, 2721 West 15th Emporia.
Newman Regional Health Medical Partners is proud to provide the same orthopedic and sports medicine care trusted by the athletes on the Hornet fields. Their expert medical team serves the greater Emporia area with comprehensive treatment for sprains, fractures, joint pain, and sports-related injuries. Trusted by athletes and available to everyone. Schedule your appointment today with Newman Regional Health Medical Partners at 620-343-2376. Newman Regional Health, achieving healthy goals.
Wanting to consolidate debt? Look no further than Emporia State Federal Credit Union. They have a variety of loan products to help you reduce your payments and pay off debt faster. Text or call them today to speak to a qualified local professional. 620-342-2336. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions may apply. All loans are subject to approval.
Emporia State Federal Credit Union. The educated choice.
Winter weather in Kansas. Is your car ready? The team at Black Creek Diesel and Automotive is proud to be a part of the Napa Network. With over 14,000 Napa Auto Care centers, you'll always have an ASE certified mechanic nearby. The next time you need service, head to Black Creek Diesel and Automotive for the expertise and quality service you need to keep your ride on the road wherever you're headed. Black Creek Diesel and Automotive, 3105 West 6th Avenue in Emporia. Mix 104.9.
Wrapping things up here at 627 Event Space. Come and see us next week. We don't have that many shows left. Looking ahead here, we've got February coming up. We'll have one show in March, and that'll be it. So make sure you get out here at 627 Event Space to wrap up the basketball season. We've got 4 home games left for Emporia State, all in February, but these last 2 games in January to wrap up this 4-game road swing. Joining us now, the head coach of the Emporia State Hornets, Tom Billeter, here on Hornet Talk to wrap things up. As always, need your headphones up, and you need it down or up, Coach? Up.
I can't hear very well.
How is that right there?
That's
is that better for you,
Yep.
Coach? I know that game for you on Thursday was exactly what you were looking for there. Get your first road win. But I got to start with the cold. You mentioned you wanted to move down to Emporia to get away from the cold. So much for that. But this
is nothing. To cancel school, I told everybody, and I meant it. You know, this is just a normal day in Sioux Falls, and in Fargo, you'd see people without their shirt on, just getting sunbathing.
Do you have a sunbathing?
This is absolutely nothing.
Do you have a sunbathing in Fargo story?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what, you got to be hardy. They're just tough, hardy people, and the cold doesn't get to them, and they're awful good in football. They're really good. NDSU is really good in football.
They sure are.
Yeah.
I'm assuming the Billeter grandkids are fans of this weather.
They love it. They love snow. They love cold. The colder, the snowier, the better. They're just really happy. They like it. And that's why Grandma and Grandpa moved south and grandkids stayed where they are. And they don't visit often. I think since I took this job, I've been back to Sioux Falls twice. And
Sure.
so it's not like I'm going back all the time, and both times were in the summer. So, no, this is fine. We don't care. It won't last. I bet the pins are still in the golf course. I bet you can still get a pretty good tee off time right now.
I bet that you could. Well, for you guys, go on the road. You get your first road win of the year at Northeastern State, and something that Coach Whitelow brought up, winning plays, and listening back and trying to cut up some highlights. There were so many winning plays that didn't necessarily come with a basket that you guys made, but thought that it felt like a big play at the time. Just talk about those string of winning plays and being able to string them together for a win on the road.
First of all, I'd never been there, and what a beautiful little community. I mean, it's the Ozarks. It's the foothills of the Ozarks. I don't even know there are foothills of the Ozarks. Beautiful facility. Really cool gym. I thought it was a really neat place. It was kind of a fun experience. Coach Whitelow does a way better job of being positive. So we broke film down and went through it as a team today. And that game, even though we won, we made so many mistakes. It's really hard to come out of film and practice just a little bit ago and be as positive as Dev was. But that's why, they keep me going positively. I'm usually a positive person, but boy, after that game, we just did a lot of things. You know what we did, though? We did make winning plays. We keep that stat. We need 5 a game. And I think we had 8. Yeah, it made a big difference. The other thing we did, and I thought was critical to a certain degree anyways, is at the end, we extended the lead, and we have not been doing that. And that comes with stops, and that comes with made baskets. And I thought that 3 that Chris threw in at the end of the shot clock was it was a mind as well as the 3 points we needed. It helped us mentally. I think our guys were like, okay, that's been going against us all year. That was a big shot, and it's like maybe we will win this one. And that was a huge shot, and it was lucky.
You mentioned winning plays. You want to have 5 or more a game. What's your definition of what's a winning play? What counts in that Coach Billeter or ESU ledger as winning play?
A winning play is a play that you do something positive that never should have happened. As simple as an offensive rebound inside out for a 3. As simple as a 50-50 ball diving on the floor, getting it on your back, throwing it, getting a basket.
Sure.
A winning play is down the stretch taking a charge. You might not have taken a charge the entire game and taking a charge. A winning play is actually running a play correctly that you maybe draw in a huddle with 3 or 4 seconds left, that you make a tweak or a change and executing the play the way it's been drawn up and supposed to be done. It's just doing a little bit of the extra or taking a situation that maybe is a 50-50 situation and getting the positive result. Those are winning plays. Anytime you dive on the floor, you get a winning play point. That's the point every single time.
Yeah, they definitely had them against Northeastern State on the way to the victory. Arkansas, Fort Smith, obviously was going to be a challenge whether you play on Friday, Saturday, or some other day that's not invented
Yeah,
yet.
Dev couldn't have covered that any better. Us playing Thursday, Friday last week was no reason. Give me a bunch of other excuses why you show up and be so flat and play so horribly against the 16th ranked team in the country. I love all those excuses. I just love hearing all of them because, hey, they played the night before too.
They did.
Yeah. So
it just felt like they had a gear of speed that Washburn played up and down, but they were really fast to start the game.
Yeah, it was hard for us to emulate that. We're not as fast as that. And in practice, you really, really concentrate on that first game. So we spent a lot more time on Northeastern than we did on Fort Smith. And, we played them last year. We beat them here. But they're better.
Way better.
And I'll tell you what, I give their credit a lot of credit to their coach. I think Zane's done a great job. We talked about him last week. And those kids, whatever you do, second you turn your head or you help in a gap and recover, as soon as you help, they back cut. As soon as you turn your head, they're cutting. They're never in the same spot longer than a second. And they're just all over the place. And it was hard to emulate that. And I think they were even a little bit faster and better at it than what our guys could even tell from film.
You mentioned that the team and your guys need to learn what it takes to beat ranked teams. In your mind, obviously, it's easy to say, well, we got to score more points, play better defense, all that. But what are the intangible things you have to do in order to win those kinds of teams, beat those kinds of teams? And obviously, to get the program where you want it to be, you're going to have to get some top 25 wins.
It's a great question. It's easy. No transition baskets, limit transition baskets, which means don't shoot stupid threes and fast shots because you can't get back and your rotations are terrible. Limit second shots. They cannot get offensive rebounds. You can't let a good team get extra points that they haven't earned, and then you can't leave points on the floor. We can't miss layups. We can't miss shots that you got to make. You limit their transition baskets to none. Don't give them second shots, and then you finish and you make baskets, and you can beat anybody, but that's how you beat ranked teams.
For you guys, the margins are so close this year, and you've been close against other ranked teams. I don't know if how much are you a standing watcher? Are you guys?
No, I couldn't even tell you. Okay, and I mean this. My wife will attest this. When we're in first place or last place, I don't look at anything.
Sure.
I don't look at stats. I don't look at standings. I look at our team stats, not the conference stats.
Right.
I don't care if anybody on my team is a leader. Now, someone will make me aware. In the past, I've had some point guards that are leading the nation in assist to turnover ratio.
Sure.
I've had teams that led the nation in rebounding, offense, defensive rebounding. I went 4 or 5 years where our team was the top offensive rebounding team in the country, or second for like 5 straight years. That's just brought to our attention. I don't look at any of that crap.
Sure, and it doesn't mean anything, but it is fun to look at.
I hate stats. I'm not a stats guy.
You're not a stat guy.
I like math. If you go 4 for 6 for the field, I can pretty much instantaneously tell you what your shooting percentage is. But I don't do. I'm just not a stats person. I don't care about it. I do care about wins and losses.
Sure. Well, here's some wins and losses in terms of the standings. Washburn, as you know, is in first place. And you've talked so much about how this conference is bunched up. We're at over the halfway point now. Almost everybody has got 9 games left in the league. There are a couple that have a couple more, but for the most part, everybody's at the halfway point. Fort Hays State is 7-3. You're 3-7. You are 4 games out of second place in this conference. There's 4 games difference between second and a tie for 11th. That to me just seems wild, and is just so emblematic of how much parity there is in this league.
There's a lot of parity, top to bottom. The league is excellent. I'll tell you what's funny though. And this is a good comment because it's true. There's certain teams we match up well with. We do not match up well with Arkansas Fort Smith. We just don't. That's a bad matchup for us. Now, I'd love to play them in the tournament. I'd love to play them again. There's some things we would definitely do different. Definitely things we can do different. But they're not a great matchup for us. I'll be honest with you. Washburn's not a horrible matchup for us. We played out of four halves with Washburn, 3 were pretty good. One
right.
horrible half. But we're probably a little more of a better matchup with them than we probably are with Arkansas Fort Smith. And that's just pretty much due a little bit to the fact of the athleticism. We haven't played a team this year where every one of the 5 guys on Arkansas Fort Smith, they could switch 1 through 5, and every single one of the guys that switched on to our point guard, who's as quick as anybody
he is.
In the league, and we couldn't get by him. We could not. They could switch 1 through 5, and he was having trouble getting by him. And so when you can't get by him, you don't have to come off our shooters. And we were struggling for baskets. I mean, we couldn't get by anybody. We couldn't get penetration. We couldn't have the defense bite. We couldn't get them to bite. We couldn't get those gaps taken, and we couldn't kick it. And so we had to really earn our baskets. And I give them a lot of credit they're just athletic. And doesn't mean a kid can be athletic and run straight and jump out of the gym. That's not an athlete. An athletic kid can move left to right. If you can move left to right, you can guard. I don't care how high you jump. That's the most overrated thing. He's got his 80-inch vertical. Who gives a crap? Can he move left or right? If he can move left or right, good athlete.
Well, then I guess I'll make this your last question. How do you feel like the Hornets match up with the Hillcats on Thursday?
Well, I do think this. For one thing, and I'm not looking at this as just knowing. They have 3 seniors and 2 juniors. And you were there. So we had media day in Kansas City. They brought all 5 of their starters. They brought all 5 of them. And I love that. I mean, they're kind of people that don't know Rogers State. I guess I haven't been there yet, but apparently, like their court is like surrounded by dirt, and they have like horses in the background or something. And it's like a circus and all this stuff. And Justin really plays up on that. Always me. We don't have anything. How do we compete? And he's a great coach. He's a very good coach, and I love that attitude. But they are a team that is old. They're veterans. They're tough. They're Fort Hays-ish, kind of like Fort Hays-ish, very similar to me in terms of how they play, their physicality. And, we're going to play a great game. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to see if we bounce back. I'm looking forward to see how we come back after absolutely having 2 halves of just getting it handed to us. And so we'll see.
Coach, really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
No. Tom Billeter, ladies and gentlemen, Emporia State, as the Hornets get set to head out to Claremore and Edmonds. We'll have the games for you coming up here on Thursday and Saturday. So we'll talk to you from the Claremore Event Center on Thursday. Thanks to everybody for coming out tonight or listening online at KVOE.com. patreon.com/listen. Thanks to the great folks here at 627 Event Space. Make sure you tip your server. We'll see you next week for the show right here at 627 Event Space Bar and Grill. Ashley and the crew can't wait to serve you. 627 Commercial in downtown Emporia. Thanks to Grace Ish. Back at our KFFX studios, I'm Blake Cripps saying good night and Stingers up.
Hornet Talk has been brought to you by 627 Event Space, Black Creek Diesel and Automotive, Emporia State Federal Credit Union, Newman Regional Health, Shelter Insurance Agents Kelly Medrano and Dave Watts, and by